Today we're going to learn how to solve exponential equations using logs. And so let's start with an always, sometimes, never to make sure you understand some of the things. The value of a logarithm is always equal to the exponent of the corresponding exponential equation. So we know that from the definition. The argument of a logarithmic expression is never equal to a negative number. The value of a logarithm is sometimes equal to a negative number. The base of a logarithm is never a negative number. And the base of a logarithm is never equal to 1. All right, so let's look at some of the reasons there. So it says the argument of a logarithmic expression is never equal to a negative number. That's because we know our domain is greater than 0. So we know that the argument is never going to be a negative number. All right, the value of a logarithm is sometimes equal to a negative number. That's our y value. So our range is all real numbers for logarithms, so it's going to be negative, it's going to be 0, and it's going to be positive. The base of a logarithm is never a negative number. We know that the base has to be greater than 0 because that's the same as the base in the exponential. And so we had all of our bases above the y-axis. The base of a logarithm is never equal to 1. We know that because 1 to any power is still 1, and so that would make a horizontal line. All right, so let's go back and remember the definition in order to convert. We said we have a base raised to a power is equal to x, and the base on our exponential is the base on our log. And then the other two switch. So it frees my exponent to come out here and be the value of the log. And then my value of the exponential is the value of the argument. So those two switch. We're going to use that quite a bit in order to solve our logarithms. We want to rewrite them, rewrite our exponentials as a log in order to solve. Something like 7 to the 3x equals 5, we can't get a common base with these two numbers. But if I convert it to a log, I get the log base 7 of 5 is equal to 3x. And so we have freed that 3x from the exponent in order to solve it. My last step would be to divide that 3. And so we get x equals log base 7 of 5 over 3. That is a perfectly good answer if we did not have a calculator, so that since that can't really be simplified without a calculator. If you do have a calculator, let's talk about how to put that in your calculator. That is alpha window to get to the log base. And we're going to go over to log base, which is number 5 there. And that allows you to put in any base you want. And so I would put in the 7 for the base and then the 5 for the argument. And I hit enter, and then I would divide by 3. And so there is the value of that. Sorry, you can't see that. There it is. That's the value. Now, one of the things I do want to point out, remember, you are not hitting this log button. Anytime you hit this log button, it is with a base of 10. So this log has a base of 10, so you do have to hit the alpha window for that change of base. And so I'm going to say that's approximately 0.276. All right, for our next one here, e to the x minus 6, again, I need to free this from the exponent. So I convert this to a log. Now, a log with a base of e, we write that as the natural log. So that's ln 150 is equal to x minus 6. In this case, we are going to add the 6 to get it to the other side. And so x equals the natural log of 150 plus 6. Again, that's a perfectly good answer if you want to, if you don't have a calculator. But if you do have a calculator, you can put that into the calculator. So let's talk about that one. In this case, you would want to use that natural log button there. You could do the alpha window and put in a base of e, but this is so much easier. We hit the natural log button and then 150. Close the parentheses to make sure that you don't get this plus 6 in the argument. So you want to close that parentheses after the 150 and then plus 6. And so we get approximately 11.011. 3 decimal places is what you're going to need in pre-cal, so you might as well go ahead and start rounding it to the 3 decimal places. All right, for our next ones here, we're going to look at a couple more steps. This one here has the same amount of steps, so if you want to go ahead and pause the video, try that one out, and then we'll get to the harder ones with more steps. All right, so check your work. You should have converted that to a natural log, and then your value is 0.586. All right, so let's talk about those more steps. The process is still the same. We just got a couple more steps, and they're really before we change this to a log. In order to convert this to a log, I need this part to be by itself. So we need to get rid of that 1, get rid of that 1/3. You cannot use this definition until that exponential is by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting the 1 to get it to the other side. And then we're going to multiply both sides times 3 in order to get rid of the 1/3. And so now I'm left with 6 to the negative 4x is equal to 15. This is where you can apply that definition. Do not try and apply it before then. You have to have the exponential by itself. So we get the log base 6 of 15 is equal to negative 4x. I applied the definition, the base on the exponentials, the base on the log, and then these switch. And then my last step is to divide by negative 4. So I ran out of space, so I'm going to come over here. So x is equal to log base 6 of 15 over negative 4. To put that in the calculator, we're going to do that real quick here. And so I'm going to hit alpha window to get my log base. I'm going to put in a base of 6 and my argument is 15. I hit enter and then divided by negative 4. And so x is equal to negative 0.378. So notice the value of this equation did come out to be a negative. It can be a negative. What can't be a negative is this base or this argument. All right, our next one here, 4 to the x minus 3 minus 5. My first step is going to be to add this 5 to get it to the other side so I can get the exponential by itself. So we get 4 to the x minus 3 is equal to 21. Now we can use our log, and so we get log base 4 of 21 is equal to x minus 3. My last step is to add that 3, so we get x equals log base 4 of 21 plus 3. We're going to put that in our calculator. Again, alpha window. 21, close the parentheses, plus 3, and so we get 5.196. All right, our next one here, I start by subtracting the 1 to get that to the other side, so I get 2 times 3 to the 5x is equal to 54. We divide by 2 because these two are being multiplied, so I divide by 2 in order to get my exponential by itself. So 3 to the 5x is equal to 27. This is one that you can do by common base. So you can recognize that and do that quickly as a common base. I can get 3 to the 5x is equal to 3 to the third. And so then 5x equals 3. X is equal to 3/5. And if you want, you can also do that as a log there. You don't have to do the common base. We would convert that to a log, so we get a log base 3 of 27 is equal to 5x, and then we divide by 5. We put that into our calculator, and we get approximately 0.6, which is the value of that 3/5. So either way, you're going to get the same exact answer. All right, there's 2 for you to try there, so give those 2 a shot. Pause the video and give that a chance to see if you can do these. All right, here's the work on those 2 so that you can see and check your work. If you look at that second one, it looks a little bit tricky because we did give you a 1.08 here, but it was just to show you 1.08 is a positive number and it can go in as the base. So we put in the base and you do get an answer for that. All right, let's look at some word problems with these exponentials. We looked at these word problems in the actual exponential unit, but we didn't talk about solving them with logs. And so now we want to get to solve those with logs. It says, suppose $4,000 principal is invested at a 6% interest that is continuously compounded and yields $5,333. For how many years was it invested? And when will the original deposit be doubled? So there's two different questions here. We're going to address the first one. As soon as we see this continuously compounded, we know it is that PERT equation. So remember from the exponential unit, it's the principal times e raised to the RT power. So that's the one we're going to use in order to set this up. It says it yielded $5,333. So that's going to be our final amount right there. The principal, which is the initial amount, is the one that goes before the e. Then we have e, and we want to use the actual e button. Raised to the 6%. Now, when we put 6% in an equation, you must move the decimal 2 places. So we move our decimal 2 places there, and t is what we're looking for, is how long did we keep this in the account? The solving is just like what we did on the other side here. We want to get this e part by itself first. These two are being multiplied, so I'm going to divide by 4,000. I'm going to go ahead and keep that as a fraction because I don't want to round until the very, very end. That's going to be true for any equation we ever work. We want to keep that as much as possible without any rounding. So now we're ready to rewrite this. And so a log with a base of e is the natural log. And I get 5,333 over 4,000 is equal to 0.06 times t. Okay, the base on the exponential is the base on the log. That's why we have the natural log. This becomes the argument, and then that is freed. And then my last step would be to divide by 0.06. I am dividing that entire thing times 0.06, so be careful when you put this in the calculator. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do the natural log, and I'm doing 5,333 divided by 4,000. Close the parentheses. That's the natural log part, so we want to make sure we close the argument so that there's nothing else slipping into that. I hit enter, and then I divide it by 0.06. Time is continuous, so you would want to keep your 3 decimal values here, and so that is 4.794. There we go. The second part of this question says, when will the original deposit be doubled? And so our original deposit was 4,000. If I double that, that would be 8,000. Now you go ahead and pause the video there and see if you can come up with how many years that would take. All right, here's what you should have gotten, 11.552 years. All right, let's try another problem here. It says an amount of radium is stored in a container. The amount y in grams of radium present after t years could be modeled by y equals c times e to the negative 0.00043 t. What is the half-life? And so this is kind of a tricky question because it doesn't give you a lot of numbers, and so students want to steer clear of it, but you just need to think about it. This is our initial amount. Remember, our initial amount always comes before that exponential part. And so if we want to know what its half-life is, we want half of that original amount. So I would just do half of c is equal to c times e to the negative 0.000432. Now, when I divide by c here, they're going to cancel on both sides. And so I get 1/2 is equal to e to that power. And we're ready to convert this to our natural log since it has a base of e. So it's not as hard as it looks. You just got to think a little bit through this problem. So we freed that exponent, and now we divide by that. And so we get t is equal to 1,611.970 years. That was a nice problem to think through. All right, let's look at another one here, Newton's law of cooling. You'll see this in science sometimes, and so we want to make sure we talk about it a little bit here. It says Newton's law of cooling states that for a cooling substance with initial temperature T sub 0, the temperature T after T hours can be modeled by this equation. Lots of T's there, so don't get confused by them. Let's talk about what each one of them stands for. So the capital T right here would be our temperature at a given time. Our T sub 0 would be the initial temperature. That's the temperature at time 0 is what that means. And so then TR is the surrounding temperature. And then R is our cooling constant. So when we write when we use this equation, we're going to key into those variables the way it is in the equation here. So it says a corpse was found in a motel room with a bullet lodged in it. At the time of discovery, the temperature of the corpse was 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Given the room is kept at a constant temperature of 60 degrees, and that the body's cooling constant is R equals 1.438. How long ago did the person die? So in forensics, they've got to do this to figure out the time. So it says that the body temperature was at 80. So that's going to be the temperature at the time we're looking for. So we're going to plug that in. T sub 0, that's going to be the body's temperature at any given time. And so usually that's referred to by doctors. The normal body temperature is 98.6. So we'll put that in there. Then minus its surrounding temperature. It says that the room was 60 degrees. So we're going to have that placed in there. Then E negative, our cooling constant was 1.438. So I'm going to plug that in. Then T, then we have plus our surrounding temperature, so plus 60. And so what we're solving for here is T. So let's go ahead and simplify that a little bit. I'm going to subtract this 60 to get it to the other side, so we get 20 there. I can go ahead and take the subtraction here and do 38.6, just to make this look a little bit easier to work with. There it is. Our next step is to divide by this 38.6. And so I'm going to keep that fraction. That way I'm not rounding until the very end. All right. Now that the exponential is by itself, that's when we use the time to convert it to a log using the definition. And so this is a base of e, so we're going to have the natural log of 20 over 38.6 is equal to negative 1.438t. And then we divide by the negative 1.438. And so we get 0.457 hours because this is in hours. And so if we wanted to determine that by time, we can convert it to the time. Which is about 27.435 minutes. This is about half an hour, 60 minutes. So you end up with that 27.435. So they died pretty recently. All right, that's solving exponentials using logs.